again, sharing how we can handle those preempts. This is part 2. Part 1 is available for review. It's a recording. All these lectures are recorded, and you can go to them at the website and review them along with the handouts. So I just want to say, Steve, from your part 1, my partner and I used the, sorry guys, use the, your plan, your strategy in our defense, and we're quite successful. Sorry, I'm gonna log off. Thank you.
Okay, we ready to go? All right, so this is part 2. And I've started off the notes with a quick review of part 1. And those are the 9 principles that we discussed in part 1. I'm not going to rehash all these, but I want you to see them listed there. Of those 9, I think the most important, the first one, don't expect perfection. That is absolutely correct. I mean, you're not going to always get it right. The idea is to get it right more often than not. Avoid guessing. I watch players just guessing like crazy because they don't have any fundamental way to approach it. And so it becomes a guess. And number 6, count on your partner. I can't overemphasize that one. You got a partner over there and she's capable of helping you. You don't have to take it all on your shoulders. But the biggest one is the one that I've highlighted there. And you're going to see it repeated many times in the examples we're fixing to talk about. The player who strains to bid is the one who is short in the opponent's suit. That should be your guideline whenever you're facing a tough decision. Now, notice I didn't say the player who is short in the opponent's suit has to bid. I didn't say that. I'm saying the person, if you're on the fence and you're not sure what to do, maybe you should be bidding and maybe you shouldn't. The way you can break the tie is, are you short in the opponent's suit? And if you are, that's a pretty good indicator that you ought to be bidding. If you're not, it's a pretty good indicator that you need to punt and let partner have a chance. Okay, so let's take a look at a couple of quick example hands. First one's example 1. James, can you get that one up there? Okay, so you can see what your holding is. And this is an example from part 1, so it may seem familiar to some people, but you've got that shape there, and you've got a nice 6-10 count. Okay, so you passed, and the person to your left bid 2 hearts, and it went pass, back around to you, and you're deciding what to do. Do you let them have it for 2 hearts, or do you bid? Well, here, this one's pretty easy. You double. And you can go ahead and move the screen up, James, if you want to now. Double. All right. So the deal is, yeah, your hand is a passed hand, but, you know, you're protected by being a passed hand. So if you double, partner's not going to say, well, he all of a sudden decided he has 16 high card points. She's going to say, oh, he's got 10 or 11 points, 9 points, short in their suit, and support for all the suits. You should strain to bid rather than pass because you're short in their suit. There's a pretty good chance that partner has some significant high card points. And if so, why did she pass? One reason might be because she's got hearts. And now you're going to get a juicy penalty in 2 hearts double. James, are they supposed to be able to see? I'm seeing Linda. Is that correct? Or did I need to push some other buttons?
Well,
now I'm seeing you.
I just when we're sharing the screen, you only see people who are showing their video. And not everybody shows their video. I just
that's fine. Somebody said they can't see me, and I don't know all the technology. So, okay, so it sounds like we're good. Okay. So the point here is you've got 10 points. Do you bid? Yeah, you strain to bid because you're short in their suit. Now, one thing here, somebody might say, well, gosh, you know, I'm hesitant to double because I don't have double hearts because I don't have 4 spades. let's put that myth to rest. You double hearts, you're not promising 4 spades. You'd like to have 4 spades. You prefer to have 4 spades, but sometimes you don't have 4 spades. You only have 3. There you go. You double anyway. A double of hearts, I don't care if it's a 1 heart opening and you double, 2 heart opening, double, etc., does not promise 4 spades. So if somebody taught you that, unlearn it because it isn't correct. Okay, example 2. Let's look at that one. All right, here you go. Your right-hand opponent opens 3 clubs, and here you are with an opening hand. Nobody's vulnerable. You've kind of got support for everything. So you might bid, you might not. So should you strain to bid? No, because you do not have shortness in the opponent's suit. In fact, if you look at the back of the principles that we talked in part 1, you have the death holding in the opponent's suit. Jack third, which is, I mean, it's just a recipe for trouble holding length in their suit if you declare the hand. On the other hand, the fact that you have 3 to the jack is a plus in that if the bidding goes around to partner and partner is short in clubs, she will strain to act. And now you'll be tickled to death because you have a good hand and partner is short in clubs. So don't strain on a hand like this. Now, I think it's interesting. Example 1 is automatic to bid with 10 points, automatic on example 1. Here, you really should not even seriously consider bidding, even though you have 13 high card points. Okay, James, the next one's the new example 3. One I sent you after the fact. Okay, that one. Okay. All right, now here's one that you don't have in your written materials if you downloaded those or if you're looking at them. This is a hand that came up this week. All right, now, so you pass. You've got an 11 count, but you pass. And your left-hand opponent opens 2 hearts, and it goes pass, pass back to you. Should you bid? Well, you have 11 points. That's good. You have support for all 3 of the unbid suits, and you even have 4 spades. So, you know, really, how bad can it be to double? But there's a red flag on this hand, and that is your heart holding. It's 2 hearts is to your left. So your king of hearts is poorly placed. And your partner figures to be short in hearts. The left-hand opponent has 6, you've got 3. If partner's short of hearts, why didn't she bid over 2 hearts? The odds are that she has some hearts and that the person to your right, the weak 2 bidder's partner, is very short in hearts. Or if she's short in hearts, she has a terrible hand. So this makes it very dangerous for you to come into the bidding. You shouldn't strain to bid here. You're not the person who's short in hearts. You're better off just letting them have it for 2 hearts. You don't even know that they have a fit in 2 hearts. Maybe they're in trouble in 2 hearts. Now, in the actual hand, what happened was that the person who was the partner of the weak 2 bidder had a good hand and a singleton heart. Actually had 4 cards in each of the suits, except hearts, and had 3 aces. And passed smoothly over 2 hearts, hoping you would come in. And at the table, the person who had this example hand did double. And the partner of that person had a 6 count with 5 little diamonds. So she innocently pulled it to 3 diamonds. And the partner of the weak 2 bidder doubled and set him 500. Now, I've heard people say, oh, well, you can't let them play 2 hearts. And that's another cliche that needs to be put to rest. Yeah, if they've bid 2 hearts and they've shown a fit, a 5-3 fit or more, and they've quietly subsided in 2 hearts, you ought to try really hard not to let them play 2 hearts. But when there's an auction where you don't know whether they have a fit, such as here, or when you know they have a misfit, well, then you might very well let them play 2 hearts. You use your judgment. You don't use cliches. Okay, so that's a quick review of some of the stuff we did last time. Now let's jump into some new stuff. Rule number 10. We talked about 9 of them. Let's go to rule 10. Play the odds. Okay, this kind of goes along with don't expect perfection. It's not reasonable to assume that you're going to get it right every time. What you're trying to do is you're going to play the odds. You're going to do the odds-on thing. You're going to do the thing that gets you a good result, figures to get you a good result more often than not. You play against players all the time. They make some kind of wild bid and they land on their feet and get a good result. Well, that's great. But for every time they do that, there's 4 or 5 times that they guess, and they guess really terribly, and they get bad results. Guessing is getting you nowhere. Figure out what the percentage action is. And sometimes the percentage is inaction, and you'll come out ahead over time. Okay, there's an example here now on the screen. It's also example 3. All this is corrected in the final notes that you'll be able to see downloaded after we get done with this. Okay, so here's your hand. You've got a 16, you've got an opening no trump. But you have ace third in the preempting suit because your right hand opponent bid 3 clubs. And you got to figure out what to do. And both sides are vulnerable. So the 3 club bid is likely to have a little bit of substance because it's a vulnerable preempt. Now, what do? Feels like you should bid something, but what can you bid? If you double, you're promising at least 3 spades. And you don't have 3 spades. And that's a recipe for problems. If partner bids a red suit, that's great. But in my experience, what always happens to me is if I double off shape with lacking in one of the suits, what happens is partner always bids that suit. So you have to plan on that. So what's the percentage action? Now, some players would say, well, I have an opening no trump. I'm going to bid 3 no trump. But boy, oh boy, you're vulnerable. The club stopper is going to get knocked out immediately. And one false move and you're down 200, 300, 400. So I'm not too wild about 3 no trump on a single stopper and no source of tricks, vulnerable. Well, so we've kind of ruled out all the bids. What if you pass? My thinking is this: if I'm going to make 3 no trump or anything else, partner's going to need to have some points. And it also looks maybe 10 points. It also looks like partner is short in clubs. There's a pretty good chance. What if 3 clubs comes around to partner and she's short in clubs? If you're on the same team, she's going to strain to bid. She doubles, you're going to bid hearts. If she bids a suit of her own, you're in a good position to know what to do. So yeah, every once in a while, if you pass, you're going to miss something. But I think a lot of the time, a very high percentage of the time, you're going to learn what you need to learn from partner. Because if partner passes with a couple of 3 clubs in her hand and a 5 or 6 count, you're probably going to set 3 clubs and get a nice little plus. But if you bid, you're going minus, and maybe minus a lot. So I think that approach of passing is going to work a high percentage of the time, as long as you're playing with a partner who understands that she's supposed to strain to bid if she's short in their suit. By now, she's read all the materials too, so she understands that. Okay, now let's look at Rule 11. That's on the next page. I see this coming up a lot, playing online. I'm playing live too. doubles of preempts and raises of preempts are takeout, not penalty. So they open 3 clubs, 3 hearts, something like that. Double is a takeout bid. But if they open 4 hearts or 4 spades, double is a takeout bid. You can't have it both ways. It's either penalty or takeout. They open 4 spades. You got to decide. And in modern bridge, a double there is not a pure penalty double. It says, I have a good hand and I want you to think about bidding. You know, when I first started playing this game, 4 spades double. That was a penalty double. That's not the way it's played anymore. So when you hear a 4 spade double, what you do is you look at your hand. And if you have something that you think there's a contract that you think you can make, or you have a reasonable chance to make, then bid it. And if you don't, well, then you can pass 4 spades double, not because the double was penalties, but because you don't have a better alternative. And partner's supposed to be strong enough that he can stand to hear you pass if you just have a balanced little bit of something. All right, here's some more situations. It goes 3 clubs to your left, pass 4 clubs. If you double, that's penalty. I misspoke. 3 clubs, double, 3 clubs pass, 4 clubs, double is takeout. Double is takeout, 100%. Same way, 3 diamonds to your left, double by partner, 4 diamonds to your right. If you double, that's takeout. It's a responsive double. It says, I've got some points. I think we belong somewhere, but I don't have a clear bid. You decide. Same way with 2 hearts, double, 4 hearts. If I now double, I'm not doubling 4 hearts for penalty. I'm saying I have some points and a good hand, and I think we belong somewhere, but I can't figure out where. I need input from the takeout doubler. The takeout doubler may choose to pass it, but not because it's a penalty double, but because he doesn't see a good place either. Now there's another variation. Let's say it goes like this: 3 clubs, double by partner, 4 clubs. You pass, and partner doubles again. Okay, that's still a takeout double. He didn't all of a sudden look at his hand and say, I had a takeout double originally, and now I have a penalty double. No, he's saying, I have a takeout double that's much better than what I originally showed. There's an example hand there in the middle of the page of what you might make a second takeout double for. And so now the doubler is saying, hey, I have original double, but more so. Make a decision for us, please, partner. And now you look at your hand. You can pass for penalties if you want to, or if there's something good to bid, you bid. Now at the bottom of the page, there's some more examples. 1 heart double, 3 hearts. You see this all the time. You know, in the old days, 1 heart double, 3 hearts was a limit raise. Not anymore. 1 heart double, 3 hearts is preemptive, and sometimes it's very preemptive, like 4 little ones and a jack. So but if you double as a responder, you're saying, hey, I have points, I have values to go with your double, but I don't have a clear bid. You decide. Okay. Another word for that is responsive double, but that's what the bid means. 1 spade double, 4 spades double. I have points. I'm not sure. I don't have a clear bid. You decide, partner. And one of the things partner can decide is to pass 4 spades double, but it's not a penalty double. Same way with a diamond double, 3 diamonds double. You know, on that for that double, classically, I would have at least about 8 points and 4-4 in the majors. Okay. So let's look at the top of the next page for example 4. Okay. So here's an example. Dealer at your left opens 1 heart. Your partner doubles. Your right-hand opponent bids 3 hearts. What do you do now? All right, you've got a 5 count. You've got some spades, and partner says he's got at least 3, maybe 4 spades. So that's good. But do you come wandering in at the 3 level on a hand this week? If you're playing partnership bridge and you can count on your partner, I think the answer is no. The Queen of Hearts isn't worth anything. And sure as the world, if I volunteer 3 spades now with this 5 count at the 3 level, partner's going to say, oh, my partner's got a pretty good hand, and lift me to 4 if he's got a little bit of extra values. So I just think you're begging for trouble when you bid on a hand like this. What you do, you pass and let it come around to partner. Now, you know for a certainty that partner is short in hearts because they've shown 9 hearts or 10 and you have 3. So partner is marked with heart shortness. So he's going to strain to bid. And usually that takes the form of doubling again. He'll have a little bit of extra values, maybe a lot of extra values, and he'll make a second double. And now you can bid 3 spades, or if you're feeling frisky, you can bid 4 spades. I'd still just bid 3 spades, especially at match points. I'm not going to punish my partner for straining to bid. But the point is you wait on this hand. Now let's tweak the hand just a little bit, down a little farther in the page. We've changed the hand. You still have the same spade holding, but now the Queen of Hearts is the 10, and we've added we've taken a club and turned it into the King of Diamonds, and now you've got a little bit to work with. Okay, but it's still only 6 points, so what's the big deal, you might say. But the thing is, again, partner, we know partner is short in hearts. We know partner has spades. And he should have, most of the time, something helpful in diamonds. So your hand has some serious playing strength. So now, yes, you volunteer 3 spades over the 3 heart jump. So remember, one of the principles is it's not about points. We don't say, well, I have 5, and well, now I have 6, so I can bid. No, it's what points are they? How are they distributed? What's the character of the points? How do I evaluate my hand? We're not counting points anymore. That's what you do when you first learn how to play. Now we're figuring, what's my hand worth? Where are my tricks? And things of that nature. This hand is a very promising hand. I wouldn't even get too upset if you jumped to 4 spades with this hand, but definitely you would volunteer 3 spades. Okay, so what happens after that? Well, first of all, partner hears you volunteer the bid, he might bid 4 spades. If he has a routine double, nothing special, he'll just pass you in 3 spades. Now, what if after 3 spades, the opener bids 4 hearts? If your partner bids 4 spades, great. If he doubles 4 hearts, fine. If he passes, though, you should pass. You've told him about your hand. He heard you and he made a decision. So you would abide by that decision. Okay. Now this part is not in the written materials I sent you, but it will be in the written materials when we get when I get those to Beth to put on the website. And this is rule number 12, which is use 4-no trump to find the best fit. Now, this is going to take some getting used to, because to a lot of players, 4-no trump is Blackwood. It just is, and that's it. If you play against experienced players, you see them using 4-no trump for all kinds of purposes. And they both know what their 4-no trump bids mean. So this is something that, you know, strong players have got this down. When preemptive bids have put us under pressure, we don't have the luxury of using 4-no trump, just bidding, of saying, well, 4-no trump is Blackwood. What is trumps? We don't even know what trumps are. You can't be bidding 4-no trump as Blackwood when you don't even know what the trump suit is. And the auction is high, and you need some help. You need some bids to tell partners something, to give partners some choices. And 4-no trump often is that bid. So experts use 4-no trump in these auctions, in these preempt auctions, as a fit finding tool. So I'm going to call it a fit finding 4-no trump. So 4-no trump in a preempt situation is not Blackwood. It is an offer to partner that you have 2 places to play, and you are seeking partners' help in figuring out which place is better. And if you're the partner of the 4-no trump bidder, you bid the cheapest thing that you're okay with. And if that's one of partner's 2 places, well, that's where you're going to play. And if partner has something else, she'll make another bid, and you will say, okay, these 2 places are where partner wanted to play, and now you'll make a choice. Remember, the goal is to find, we're at the 5 level a lot of times. Well, we are at the 5 level once you bid 4-no trump. So the goal is to find the safest possible trump fit, because we're at a high level and we're just trying to bid a contract that we can make. Niceties like, well, I'd rather play in the major rather than the minor, really are pretty much out the window. That's a luxury you can't afford. 5 clubs and 5 diamonds are game just as surely as 5 hearts and 5 spades are. At imps, it doesn't, you're not even worried about the difference between a major and a minor anymore. You're just trying to bid something that you can make and score your game bonus. And even at match points, it's usually a luxury you can't afford. Just find your fit and let it go at that. I got a call coming in here. Okay, so here's a possible sequence, a basic one. 4 spade opening to your left. Okay. We're not on that one yet. Not on that yet, James. 4-no trump, 4 spades, 4-no trump by partner. Pass. It's not Blackwood. It's asking you to choose between the minors. So if you have clubs better than diamonds, bid 5 clubs. If diamonds are better than your clubs, bid 5 diamonds. But if you're pretty much equal, bid 5 clubs. And here's why. Because if clubs is one of partner's places to play, that's where you play. But if partner happens to have diamonds and hearts, when you bid 5 clubs, she'll bid 5 diamonds. And you'll scratch your head over that for a minute, and you'll say, well, wait a minute. She promised 2 places. Well, they're bidding spades and I'm bidding clubs. So the 2 places are diamonds and hearts. So you'll say, oh, okay, she wants me to choose between diamonds and hearts. So it's a fit finding tool. Here's another one. 2 hearts to your left, double by partner, 3 hearts to your right. 4-no trump is not Blackwood. 4-no trump says, I've got them. If I had spades, I'd bid spades. So it says I have the minors. And I'm too strong to bid something like 4 clubs because you might pass me. So I'm bidding 4-no trump as pick a minor. And then we'll land there. Or conceivably, maybe if you have a wonderful hand, when partner picks a minor, you may raise him to slam. Or if he has a wonderful hand, when you bid 4-no trump, he'll say, well, my partner has a good hand and I have a great hand with good support for one of those minors. I'll bid slam myself. And so that's how you can get places using this 4-no trump. Similarly, 1 spade, double, 4 spades. 4-no trump by me. I'm trying to find a minor suit. I've got the minors. At least that's what you're supposed to assume. If you pick clubs and I bid 5 diamonds, then you'll know, oh, I have the red suits. But ostensibly, it's minors. Okay, James, let's put up that handwritten example. This is a hand that came up 2 days ago. And I was playing with Jim Hilton, and Jim was the person making the double. Okay, so we were vulnerable against not, and the opponents are doing what good opponents do. They're using the leverage of the vulnerability, favorable vulnerability, to jam the auction and put us under pressure. If there's one thing that's changed about bidding since the early 70s, when I started playing bridge, it's that preempts are aggressive, partnerships are aggressive about preempting together, and they're putting you under pressure and seeing if you can handle it. And that's why you need all these tools. Okay, so on this hand, it went 3 hearts and Jim doubled. 4 hearts, and I looked at my hand and I said, well, I've got a little something here, but it's a little rich to be coming in at the 5 level unless partner can act. So I let it go. I could have bid 4-no trump, and frankly, if somebody bid 4-no trump, I wouldn't criticize them. But I think the hand's a little bit skinny for acting directly. It went pass, and Jim doubled again. Okay, so now for sure, I need to find a way to get him to bid his better minor. And the way to do that is I bid 4-no trump. And he was on the same page. He bid 5 clubs. He had 3-3 in the minors. So he bid clubs because he bid clubs when his clubs and diamonds were equal. And there's his hand right there. And we got to 5 clubs. And unless you're very, very unlucky, 5 clubs is a lay down. And he made 6 at the table. And you look at it and say, well, you know, you might have done okay in spades. Well, we might have done okay in spades if spades behave. But if you've probably noticed that when the opponents are preempting like crazy, suits have a way of not splitting very well. So even though 4 spades would have worked okay on this day as the cards were, I think 5 clubs is a better spot. But the important thing is to see the cooperative bidding between the partners, where the second double is clearly takeout. And the 4-no trump bid is definitely a fit finding bid, not Blackwood. So this is a tool that I hope you'll look into a little more. I mean, as I said in the write-up that you'll get, it's you could do a whole Zoom talk on this 4-no trump if you cared to. Maybe I will sometime. Okay, so the last hand I've got is this closing discussion hand. And I intentionally did not give you the answer or any discussion on it yet, but there you'll see the discussion when the whole the updated notes are put on the website and you can look at it. But this is a hand from the Bridge World, and I don't know how many of you subscribe to the Bridge World. I've been reading it for really a long time, longer than I care to admit, pushing 50 years. And it's a very good publication. And one of the things they have, it's kind of like the, I can't remember the name of it in the bulletin, but they have a similar feature now in the bulletin. They kind of plagiarized the Bridge World's thing. But in the Bridge World, it's called the Master Solvers Club. And what they do is they give you, they pose difficult bidding problems, and then they ask experts to suggest what they think is the best solution. And they're intentionally hard problems. They're problems that tend to find the holes, the gaps, the trouble spots in standard bidding. Because everybody can handle, or all the experts can handle the routine questions, but what do you do when the hand doesn't really fit in any category? And this is a hand that's perfect for the Master Solvers Club, and it's a problem from the Master Solvers Club. And I'm going to give you some information about what the experts said about it. And that's what I meant when I said, hint, there is no good bid. This is a question of what is your least of evils bid? What is the bid that has the best chance of letting you land on your feet? Recognizing that some of the time you're going to land in the soup. But that's just bridge. They put the pressure on you, and you have to deal with it. So here's the situation. You're vulnerable. They're not. That's the time when they really come after you. And your left-hand opponent is dealer, and she bids 3 clubs, and it goes pass to you. And what are you going to do? Okay, now to my mind and to the minds of the experts who participated in this problem, there are 4 plausible bids. So I'm going to go through them in order of how they scored. First one is 3 hearts. A little bit off the wall. You generally would not overcall at the 1 level with the 4-card suit very often. And so here we are at the 3 level. It seems a little bit offbeat, but your hearts are very strong and you have a side source of tricks. So if you catch partner with a few hearts, it could work out. But then again, if you catch partner with something else, you could end up with egg on your face. So I know this. I've never been tempted to make a bid like 3 hearts because I read an article a long time ago by Bobby Wolf and the Dallas Aces. And they studied this way back a long time ago when they were a team. And they did a study of, well, you know, how effective is it to overcall on strong 4-card suits at high levels? And they discovered that although it works every once in a while, it usually doesn't pan out very well. So my conclusion is 3 hearts is one of those bids that's, you know, it'll make the headlines when it works, but it's not a percentage action. And in the bridge world, they score you on a 0 to 100 basis. And so that 3 hearts scored 30. Okay, now what's another possibility? You could just overcall 3 diamonds. But there's 2 problems with the 3 diamond overcall. Your suit is really not what you want for a vulnerable 3-level overcall. You'd like to have 6, and you'd like to have better ones. It's a little anemic there. And to some degree, you're understating the value of the hand. You're just making an overcall, and you're in the balancing seat. You know, so you might be straining to bid, and yet all you're straining to bid is 3 diamonds. Partner's not necessarily going to pick up on the fact that you did it with 16 points. So 3 diamonds is not crazy, and 3 diamonds could work. But partner's almost never going to be able to volunteer 3 hearts over that. So your heart fit is not going to be brought to light. You could get to 3 no trump though. So anyway, 3 diamonds is not crazy, and it scores 70. What I thought was interesting was, and the theme of this, what I'm trying to get you to see by putting this problem out, is you can think creatively about what is the bid that has the best odds. It's not perfect, but it has the best odds. And one bid that did not jump out to me, but many of the experts chose, was 3 no trump on Jack X of clubs. And here was the reasoning. You've got 16 points, you have a good hand. You've got a long suit that might develop some tricks. And your club holding is not too great. But does the person who opened 3 clubs really have ace, king, queen, 7th of clubs? Not vulnerable against vulnerable? Very seldom. In fact, many people play a gambling 3 no trump where they would open 3 no trump with a hand like that. And very often it goes 3 clubs past 4 clubs by your right-hand opponent. If right-hand opponent has anything really good in clubs and wants to bump you and make it hard on you. So there's an inference that your right-hand opponent does. There's a suggestion in the bidding that your partner has something in clubs. So you may end up, and if so, if the club preemptor has to lead clubs against 3, you playing 3 no trump, the lead around to the jack may actually be pretty favorable for you. So I have to admit, it did not occur to me to bid 3 no trump, but many of the experts did, and they scored 90. But to me, this shows how these strong players are thinking creatively. They're not stuck with the rule. Well, you have to do this, so I have to do that. They're thinking about the situation and applying their bridge logic to come up with a practical solution. They're playing the odds. Yeah, 3 no trump could fail very clearly, but it also could come up roses. Now, here's the last bid. The last possibility is you could double. Now, obviously, the flaw in double is that partner might bid 4 spades. Partner might bid 4 spades. And if she does, well, actually, she's probably going to have a 5-card suit if she does, but still not ideal. So that's the problem with the double. But on the other hand, if she bids a red suit, you're in business. If she bids 3 no trump, you're in business. If she had a decent hand herself with some clubs, you're going to be defending 3 clubs double and you're going to murder them. So there's some real upside to the double. Recognizing the downside, there's some real upside. What if she bids 3 spades? Well, the expert's opinion was, now you bid 3 no trump for the same reason that you'd overcall 3 no trump. That a lot of them did overcall 3 no trump. But most of the experts doubled first and then bid 3 no trump. Now, here's something that's important. We all get taught, oh, well, you double and you bid something else, then shows a strong hand. But when you double at a high level and you bid something else, it really, what it shows is a flexible hand, not necessarily more stuff, more high card points, but more suitability for a lot of things. So in this situation, when it went 3 clubs past 3 no trump, the problem with 3 no trump, big problem with 3 no trump, besides the lack of stopper, is it tends to shut partner up. it forecloses options, because partner's going to think, well, he's probably got a hand with a long suit and a club stopper, and doesn't really want to hear me bid my 5-card spade suit or my 5-card heart suit or whatever it is. Okay, you tend to be stuck in 3-no trump. 3-no trump is not a flexible bid there. But if you double first and then bid 3-no trump, that shows flexibility. That shows suitability for a lot of things. So if you doubled and partner bid 3 spades, and now you bid 3-no trump, she's going to say, okay, he's open to further information. He's open to other contracts. And if she's got a 4-card heart suit, she's going to bid it. And now you're going to land in your heart fit instead of languishing in no trump or, 3 diamonds after an overcall or some other thing. So there's no guarantees, and it's not always going to work. But when you double, you've given yourself the most chances to land in a good spot. And that was the bid that scored 100 out of 100 in the Master Solvers Club. But I thought that hand was really indicative of a lot of things, or showed a lot of things that we've been discussing. And that's why I brought it. Okay, so that's all I have prepared. And I'm wide open to, if we got time, I'm wide open to questions.
I have a question.
Yes.
If you decide to overcall 3-no trump after a high level preempt, or even like if it goes 2 hearts and you bid 3-no trump, do you play systems on like a Stamen of 4 clubs or transfer or not?
That's a good question. The answer is yes, I have a system. There is a system, but it's probably best to play that. Yeah, 4 clubs is majors and transfers are on, if just in a casual partnership. Now, if you've got a serious partner and you really want to get down to some nitty gritty, there's a structure you can play over this. I learned this one from Toby Sokolow, and it's really good. Okay, but it's also kind of memory intensive, and it comes up once every Christmas. Okay, but if you're just playing, you're not trying to overload yourself, then it's probably better to play 4 clubs is majors and transfers and handle it that way. And also for that 3-no trump, 4-no trump is not Blackwood. Okay, just to borrow from earlier, 4-no trump says, oh, I'm inviting you to bid 6-no trump. You showed a good hand and you caught me with a good hand. Maybe we can make a slam. Look at your hand and decide. It's not Blackwood. Okay.
Steve, on the last hand, if you take a spade and you put it with the hearts, can you bid 4-no trump then? 4-no trump would be a good bid, right?
Well,
you have 5 diamonds and 5 hearts.
It would be as far as being able to find a fit, but it would be impractical because one of the places you want to try to play is 4 hearts, which you can't get to over 4-no trump. Okay, so you would have to have some agreements with your partner about how you handle 2 suited hands. And if you didn't have those, and most people don't, so if you didn't have that agreement, like leaping Blackwood or something of that nature. But if not leaping Blackwood, leaping Michaels. But other than that, you probably are stuck with having to bid 3 hearts and hoping you get another chance to bid.
And then going back to Nancy's question, why do you need a complicated system when in fact the usual system should work over 3-no trump?
Oh, okay, here's why. Here's why. If I gave you 18 or 19 high card points with a club stopper and 6 running diamonds, you would bid 3-no trump. Okay. And you're not interested in hearing about partners Jack 5th of spades, partner running out to 4 spades. You bid 3 no trump because you got it in your hand and you're going to make it. Okay, so that's what I mean by 3 no trump shutting down the auction. It really does not encourage partner to start messing around with 5-4 in the majors or any of that kind of stuff. So that's why you double first. You double first, then you bid 3 no trump. That kind of opens the floor to discussion. It's more flexible. It doesn't show more points. That's what I was trying to say a minute ago. Doubling and then bidding 3 no trump doesn't say, hey, I have a better hand than 3 no trump. It says I have a different hand than a direct 3 no trump. I have a hand that is receptive to other possibilities. And then, Simone, what you're talking about with Stamen and transfers is very useful because partners open to other possibilities. Now you can use the transfers to get there and stuff. But over a direct 3 no trump, it's just not the same situation. And you usually are very hesitant to pull partner out of 3 no trump because she may be staring at 9 tricks and here you get off into the weeds somewhere else.
I think Simone was suggesting that you said you had a different thing that Toby had suggested. You didn't offer what it was exactly, but why would you have something more complicated than Stamen and transfers?
I frankly, I don't have anything more complicated than that, except for 2 partners that I play with all the time. And with everybody else, it's Stamen and transfers. And if that's what you play, you probably end up just fine.
After this talk, Steve, to some degree, having preempts by opponents opens a beautiful world, a very elegant world in bridge bidding, with many more options than you have if they don't preempt.
Well, Simone, I agree with that. And here's why. And I'm not sure everybody sees it this way, but this is how I see bridge. To me, what's fun about bridge is the cooperative problem solving by 2 partners, working with my partner to solve problems, to handle situations, etc. And preempts are a fabulous opportunity for that, because if you both understand the principles I've outlined here in the first talk and this one, and if you both understand them and you're both ready to implement them cooperatively, you can solve a lot of these dilemmas that preempts pose to you. And it's very satisfying when you do, because they're trying to jack you around and you are able to handle it and land on your feet and get a top score. That's fun. And that's the way I see it. Okay, well, that's probably a good spot to stop. I think the 1:30 game's getting ready to go, and good luck to everybody in that. And like I said, I'm going to update the written materials. Beth will post them later today, and then you'll have the complete rundown on that.
All right, thanks, Steve. Thanks everybody for showing up.
Okay.
Thank you. Excellent talk. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Very, very interesting.